Welcome to episode 12 of Mental Health Mondays with Dr. David Morgan. I can't believe we've done so many so far. I really enjoy doing these. Thanks to Onward Productions for providing the platform. And thanks to everyone who has been watching and listening and writing in with questions. If you have questions, let me give you the email, onward.mental.health.mondays@gmail.com. Any question you have about mental health, I'm a licensed psychologist. If there's anything you ever wanted to ask a mental health professional, please let me know, and I will do my best to answer your question. This week's topic is not from a viewer question, but it's something that's been on my mind pretty much just in the past 24 hours. If you haven't had a chance to see the recent video posted by President Russell M. Nelson, go watch it. It's right there on the church's website, churchofjesuschrist.org, and right there on the front. And it's about 10, 11 minutes. It's amazing. He speaks about gratitude. He actually prays, asks you to pray with him. And I don't think I've ever heard a prophet pray outside of a temple dedication. So that was a really special experience for me. As you know, President Nelson was a heart surgeon before his call to be a full-time minister and apostle. And so as Dr. Nelson, he used to give a lot of prescriptions, I'm sure. And he gives us a spiritual prescription in this episode, or I'm sorry, this video that he's posted. And what President Nelson said is, no matter our situation, showing gratitude for our privileges is a fast-acting and long-lasting spiritual prescription. Does gratitude spare us from sorrow, sadness, grief, and pain? No, but it does soothe our feelings. It provides us with a greater perspective on the very purpose and joy of life. So as I've been thinking about this the past day or so, I wanted to tell you just kind of how that works. President Nelson is basically saying if you have more gratitude, that you're going to feel better, that you're going to have greater peace during times of difficulty and greater happiness. And so the question is, well, how does that happen? Certainly it happens spiritually, but the Lord usually uses kind of natural methods for that to happen. And if we can talk a little bit about brain chemistry, I'll try not to bore you too much. These things are important to understand. So our brains are amazing, complicated organs. They're constantly learning new information and purging old information. And the more that you do something, the easier it gets for you to do. You know this. You've had these experiences throughout your life, and that's because of your brain. I remember in the 7th grade, I took a typing class. That's back in the ancient days when we used to have typewriters. And so there was a room that had, 35 typewriters in it. We would each sit down and learn how to type, learn that the format of the keyboard. And I distinctly remember sitting there and having to look for each letter and the corresponding key so I could type. Now I can type extremely fast without even thinking. I don't even have to think about where's the Q, where's the Y, anything like that, because I have done it so many times that my brain has created these basically what you call shortcuts, these well-worn paths of behavior and thought that they become so repetitive that the brain creates these pathways. They're called neural pathways, and creates these new connections that allow us to do things more efficiently. So I have spent a lot of time typing in my career. Because I've done it over and over and over again, my brain has created these shortcuts or these pathways to make that behavior more automatic. And the thing you need to know about these pathways is that your brain is completely unbiased. It is not biased towards good behaviors, towards bad behaviors. The only thing it does is it reinforces things that are done over and over and over again, and it provides less energy to things that are not done so frequently. So like with my typing, because I did it over and over and over again, my brain created these special pathways that make typing much easier. For example, I have a friend who is an expert archer, shoots bows and arrows, and he's amazing at it. It's very natural to him because he's done it over and over again. I don't think I've shot a bow and arrow in 30 years. And so for me to go through that process, it's going to be very painstaking. I'm going to have to learn every step because I haven't done it over and over again. I could become good if I practiced every day shooting bows and arrows. Then I would become good at that, and my brain would say, hey, I guess we're now a bow and arrow person, and so we're going to create these pathways that make that easier. So it doesn't matter. Your brain is not biased towards negativity, biased towards positivity. It simply does those things, reinforces those things that are done over and over. And one of the some of the feedback I often get from people is that they say, Brother Morgan, change is really hard. It's difficult. I try to change and I'm not able to change. And I think that's only partially true, because I think what they're saying is, like if they have a pattern of negativity in their brain, and then and they've been practicing that every day for 20 years, and then tomorrow they try to be positive, they say that was really hard. I got resistance every step of the way to be positive. And that's probably true, because that person's brain is basically wired to be negative. The brain has created these negative pathways because negativity has been the daily fare over and over and over again, so that negativity becomes easy to do. When you try to introduce positivity into that, it's kind of going against the grain, and the brain is like, I don't know what to do with this. In time, the brain will create positive pathways if positivity is done over and over and over again. So one of the things that, when we say things are difficult or things don't seem to come naturally to us, really what that means is that we probably haven't done it enough for the brain to become efficient at it. So what we need to do, if there are things that we want to get better at, we need to do them over and over and over again, and they will become easier over time. President Nelson gave us a challenge. He said, in these days leading up to Thanksgiving, every day to be thankful for something and to journal that on social media. And it's been amazing to me just in the past 24 hours, as I've scrolled through my Facebook and Instagram feeds. There's so much positivity. Everyone's just thankful for things. And these are the same people that in just a week ago, some of them were posting negative things. And my guess is that these people's lives are not very different now than they were the day before President Nelson gave his address, or his address was broadcast. But what they're doing is they are looking for the positive, and they're looking for things to be grateful for. So there probably are still things they could complain about, which they have in the past, but they're not. They're trying to accentuate the positive things. And I think what would happen if, even beyond Thanksgiving, if we just did this every day? If every day we tried to focus on the positive, if every day we tried to focus on what we were grateful for, and not just a 7-day period, but 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, a year, I think what would happen is that we would eventually find that we would become more positive. We would become more grateful. Our brain would start to create these pathways of positivity and gratitude, as opposed to negativity and ingratitude. Positive behaviors are created the same way as negative behaviors, just one step at a time, over and over and over again. Your brain is going to react to what it is fed. Basically, you've got a feed in your brain, just like you have a Facebook feed. Your brain has a feed, and it is constantly receiving information. You have control over a lot of that information. You have control about what you put in your brain, what you watch, what you think about, who you talk to, those sorts of things. So try to manage that feed. Try to manage that feed in your brain. Give it the type of stuff that you want to be thinking about. And then over time, your brain will start to adapt to that. And you'll find it'll be easier and easier. I just want to give you my testimony. I know President Nelson is the prophet of God. I love him. I think he is remarkable. He is absolutely the president for our time. And what he says is true. And if you follow his counsel, you're going to be happier, period. I am thankful for the power of gratitude. I am grateful for so many things in my life. I know that gratitude will help us feel greater peace, help us just feel better on a day-to-day basis if we consider those things we're grateful for. And I'm very, very grateful for our Savior, Jesus Christ. and for his atoning sacrifice that makes all these changes possible. Even we have these amazing brains that can change and that can do all sorts of things, but it wouldn't matter if he hadn't come and done what he did. So I'm very, very grateful for him. Thanks to everyone for watching. If you have any questions, again, reach out to me on my website at ldspsychologist.com or on Instagram at ldspsychologist. Remember that change is possible, but that change requires action, and keep moving forward. Be grateful and have a great week. Bye-bye.